podcast. I'm your host, Joe Garcia, and today we're going to be joined by some special guests. We're doing a special live streaming episode. We're going to be joined by the one, the only Carolina Teague, and we're going to be joined by Steven Anderson of Project Spurs. So we'll start with ladies first because we all heard the news today. Tim Duncan is rejoining the San Antonio Spurs now as an assistant head coach. So, without further ado, welcome back, Carolina. It's been a long time since we had you on. So, what did you think today? You heard this news about Tim Duncan. I actually thought it was a joke, at first, until I actually saw it from the San Antonio Spurs official Twitter account. Then I was like, okay, I believe it now. Yeah, for sure. A lot of people thought it was going to be Becky Hammond, but I mean, now that you got Tim Duncan, joining the coaching. Hold on, hold on, hold on. No, I'm here. There, can you hear me? Yes, yes. We're having. Oh my God, we're having technical difficulties now. Can you hear me now? Okay, we're good now. So I got every. Yeah, I got everything. We're all good to go on this end. I was just interacting with some of the people who are watching. Clint Proctor, he always says, yeah, probably that too, because I'm still on vacation mode. But Clint Proctor was saying, "Pinkies up, go Timmy." Doris was saying, "What's up, Stephen Joe Carolina, go Spurs, go." Timmy Day, uh, Patricia Pena was like, "Go Spurs, go." Good evening to you, Patricia. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching us. But Stephen, what did you think? Did you heard that Tim Duncan's coming back and as an assistant coach on the San Antonio Spurs staff? I'm sure you got very excited, as did all of Spurs Nation.
Time. And I mean, if you think about it, guys, Pop, Becky, Tim Duncan, three very, very, very skilled basketball minds working together for the Spurs. The Spurs, remember, were not only a win away from the 3 seed last season, they were 1 game away from upsetting the number 2 seed, the Denver Nuggets. So think about the change that the Spurs made this offseason, not only to the team itself, but to their coaching staff. And I think the Spurs could very, very well set themselves up for a very good season next year.
Yeah. I was gonna tell you guys that people were saying that they couldn't really hear us too well, so I kind of increased the volume. So hopefully that rectified all the issues that people were having. But I heard everything you just finished telling me, and I couldn't agree more. A lot of the fans are very excited. Just kind of change the dynamic of what's happening as far as the line of coaching. As far as what's going to happen after Coach Pop leaves, who's going to succeed him. It's going to be one of those conundrums. We really expect. I fully expect that it's going to be Becky Hammond who's going to succeed
Mm-hmm.
Coach Pop, but you just
Mm-hmm.
never know. We just never know what the Spurs are going to wind up doing because they do the total opposite of what everybody expects. So I'm very excited, just like everybody else right now. With the return of Tim Duncan, and everybody is split on this because you have the fans, even on Spurs Twitter right now, getting upset. They're like, he's not back with the team. He's just a part of the coaching staff. We all know that, but it's okay to say he's back. He's back with the team, people. It's like, you know how people are on Spurs Twitter, Carolina? They like to nitpick like every little thing. It's like, yes, he's not back with the team. He's just part of the coaching staff. It's all good, people. You got Tim Duncan. You're going to be able to see
Yes,
on the sidelines of the games. Why are you crying, right, Carolina?
yes, they need to chill out, give it a break.
Yeah,
I mean, they be acting like they be nitpicking everything. Like, why are y'all taking things so seriously? I mean, I get it. Y'all want to win another championship. That's why you take it seriously. But let's just have a little bit of fun. Let's just be happy for the fact that, you know, the 5-time champion veteran is signing on as a part-time assistant coach. And he is a part of the team. But last time I checked, the Spurs organization is a team as a whole, and it goes from the top to the bottom. So anybody wants to say he's not part of the team, y'all are wrong. He's still part of the team. He's just an assistant coach,
you
part
tell
time,
them.
and he's gonna work his way through the. Yeah, y'all are wrong. Like, a team is a team from the top to the bottom. And if you're a true basketball connoisseur, then you would know that it takes from the top to the bottom to have a championship caliber team. So I think him being a part-time assistant coach brings a lot to the table. I agree with Steven. He has he can I can't say, for lack of a better term, tutor LaMarcus Aldridge or Jakob Pertl. But not only that, he brings some. He was obvious leader with the San Antonio Spurs, and I do think that people on the Spurs team, or the players in general, will respect Tim Duncan, and they will use him for his basketball IQ and knowledge and his talent, and he'll be able to coach them accordingly because they already respect him. Um, um, where was I at?
They already know.
Yeah,
Carolina
where was
had a
I at?
she had a brain
I
fart
had
right
a,
in the
yeah,
middle of her
like, I think so.
sentence.
Yeah, I know. I was like, crap. No. What the hell, man? Where was I? That's it. That's it. I'm done.
Oh Lord, Carolina. No, she was. You're just, all you were saying is like with coach, Tim Duncan being an assistant coach now, he's going to be able to keep some of the players, honest, and be able to tell them, hey,
Yes,
Lamarcus, you step up your game. You gotta, bring more, uh, kind of like play at a higher level because we need
and
him
they
to be more
respect.
aggressive.
Right, and they respect him already. That's what
Yeah.
I was going to say. Dejounte Murray already tweeted, Pop is my coach now. I don't know if he said what a time to be alive, but he was just really excited and ecstatic that Tim Duncan is his, part-time coach. And even though his role right now is projected to be smaller than Will Hardy's role,
Yeah.
I still think that he's going to be a huge benefit to the San Antonio Spurs coaching staff.
Hey, somebody brought up a good topic of conversation. Gio Lamore, he's watching us on Periscope on Twitter. He's got to pay Timmy back for those pay cuts. You know what? He's got a point. I mean, Timmy gave up so much when he was a player, taking the hometown discount. Now as an assistant coach, what do you do? Do you kind of like say, "Hey, y'all got to kind of pay me now. You need me." You know what I mean? Don't take that hometown discount no more. They kind of owe him a little bit. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they take care of him. We don't know what this whole deal is in what it involves as far as monetary compensation. At least not yet. The details haven't been released. Only that he is returning to the team in a coaching capacity. So I know we're all very excited. But one of the things is he comes back, and how is he? That's the thing. It's like, is he really going to be going after like LaMarcus? Is he going to really try to make him a better player? Is he, what is he really going to do at that juncture when he's there on the sideline? Do you think the players are going to want to play a lot better to kind of prove, hey, we're here. We're going to try to play better to honor Tim Duncan now that he's watching on the sidelines. You know what I mean? Versus how they were playing last season. That's a question.
Yeah,
Can I answer?
go
Or
ahead.
Steven, you want to go ahead? Go ahead,
Go for it.
Steven. No, you go first.
Okay, well, here's what I think, Joe. I think is this, where you have a guy like Tim Duncan, like we all, the three of us know, he's the best power forward to ever play the game. All of the accolades he has, all that. I do see him wanting to make our younger guys, for example, Marcus Jakob Poeltl, some of the other players that they have on the team. Their names are escaping me at the moment. To make them better than what they were. I mean, Timmy, from what I know, from the sources I've talked to, from the articles I've read, Tim Duncan and LaMarcus Aldridge have always had a good relationship, and I don't see that not continuing just because Timmy's now a coach. I think it's only going to get stronger. Obviously, we all seen the footage of Tim Duncan in practice after he retired. Teaching LaMarcus some moves, teaching Jakob some moves. Working out with the guys. I don't see that not continuing. I do see Timmy really just hammering down what he knows about the game and combining what LaMarcus and Jakob and all of those power forwards and big men have currently in the game, kind of hammering those points out and kind of just going from there. I do see him really using his. I mean, you're right, Carolina, in the sense that he's not going to really be hands on as we think, even if he'll be fourth in line after Pop. But I do think, obviously, Pop values Timmy's opinion, and just like he values Becky's opinion, he's going to go to Timmy a lot. We may not see it happen on the court, but behind the scenes, we all know he's going to go to Timmy for a lot. And I don't see that not happening. And there's a reason for that. Timmy knows the game better than anyone. Becky knows the game better than anyone, and Pop does. So three of those minds together are going to be really, really well moving forward.
Yeah, and here's a tweet. I'm going to go ahead and show it on the screen right now from Paul Garcia, your good friend over at Project Spurs, and
Yes, love
somebody I know
Paul.
quite well as well. Paul always releases some good stats. He's saying so the coach Pop's coaching staff will look like Becky Hammond, Will Hardy,
Mhm.
Chip England, and Tim Duncan. That's not a bad, staff to have right there with Coach Pop. I kind of like that. I think that the Spurs will fare better this season, given with the return of Dejounte Murray, and now you have Tim Duncan on board as well. So I really like this move. The only thing now, can we get the big three to return? In some capacity, can we get Manu to be involved? Can we get Tony to come back and be involved in some capacity? I think that would be amazing, and not just for the fans, but for the up and coming Spurs now. The next generation that's going to succeed the big three era.
Yeah,
So I'm excited. So
I,
let's
I
see.
am.
Go ahead.
I want to add something to that. To what you guys are saying, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
One of the things. Okay, I didn't know if anybody could hear me. Okay, I was like treading lightly.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So no. Anyways, so what I was saying, or what I think is, to me, a lot of the conversation this past season was, Greg Popovich is getting old. What's going to happen next? What direction are the Spurs are heading in? They're becoming an old team. Blah blah blah. Um, we see now, or right now, what I'm seeing is that they're trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together for this new Spurs generation.
Mhm.
There's been rumors that RC Buford is leaving the GM position and he's going to take a higher role in the Spurs. And I'm not sure in what capacity that is. If you guys know, then feel free to chime in and tell me. But I do see that they're putting the pieces together for a new Spurs, generation. You have Lonnie Walker, DeJounte Murray, you have
Derek White.
LaMarcus Aldridge, Derek White, just a new burst of talent for the San Antonio Spurs. And to me, it just shows that they're putting the pieces, the chess pieces together to still continue that playoff caliber, championship caliber legacy moving forward. And to me, that's something I can appreciate, and I'm sure Spurs fans can appreciate, because it doesn't look like they're, regressing. It looks like they're improving.
Yeah, I agree. It does look like they're improving. They're slowly going under the radar once again, flying under the radar, and adding these pieces to make themselves even better. And that's the Spurs way, you know.
They
So
definitely go ahead.
yeah, go ahead,
Uh,
Stephen.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with Carolina. They really are for this next generation, and when we see that in the draft every year, we saw guys like Lucas Samsic. I'm probably mispronouncing the guy's name, but you know who I'm talking about. Keldon Johnson. Recently, they just drafted these guys. Obviously, Lonnie Walker, DeJounte Murray, Derek White. All these guys that the Spurs have drafted over the past few years, whether they have been with the team for years or not. This is the next generation of the Spurs. And I mean, if you want proof, look at Summer League. Lonnie Walker completely destroyed Summer League to the point where even I was tweeting, the Spurs should just pull him from summer league because one, you're going to risk him getting hurt, and two, he's already proven himself. So I mean, obviously that summer league is summer league, and when you get to the training camp and regular season, that's what's going to matter. But as of right now, he looks a lot better than what I thought he would at this point. Carolina, to answer your question, Jabari Young of the Athletic has reported that assistant general manager Brian Wright will become the Spurs' new general manager, as RC Buford will be taking another position within the Spurs organization. He is getting promoted. Obviously, the Spurs have not confirmed that news, but Jabari is one of the best in the business to report stuff like this. So obviously, it's not official yet, but that news should be coming, I would assume, within the next couple of weeks to make it official. But yeah, so RC Buford will no longer be the Spurs general manager. It will be Mr. Wright leading things. And even though Mr. Wright is in his 30s, I believe late 30s, if I'm not mistaken, a young GM for a young direction for the Spurs. So I like that going forward.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things that are coming out of this move and moving forward with not just the staff, the coaching staff, but also in the upper management. There
Mhm.
kind of needs to be a changing of the guard. Let's be honest. RC's been in that position for quite some time. I think he was long overdue for some type of promotion, and I'm glad to see him get it. He's worked hard for the organization for so many years, so it is time for him to kind of move up in the ranks. Let's see what Pedro's saying.
Hey,
Pedro Martinez says, "This isn't my opinion on the matter, but I can't help but think about the Lakers on how they hired within and how it played out. Again, not saying that it's the Spurs end game, but sometimes it's okay to be excited, but hang on to emotions back a little. I guess back off a little and see how all this plays out. I'm excited, but very cautious. I
So,
guess some fans are
I,
like that.
I think one of the things, when it comes to being cautious, is concerned with the Spurs, or being cautious about this situation is concerned with the Spurs. Is one thing that's being slept on in this report is that Will Hardy is going to be an assistant coach as well. And the good thing about him is that he was an intern with the Spurs since
mhm.
2010, and he was coaching the summer league for the past 3 seasons. I think that he's been doing a incredible job internally. I like the fact that they do hire within, and I think when you promote somebody, it's good to hire internally because you already know how the Spurs organization works, or you already know how your organization works. You already know which direction they're headed into. You already know how their system works and what they like. So just Tim Duncan does have experience when it comes to on the court, but you do have Will Hardy as the assistant coach as well, and he has experience, in coaching and off the court as well. So I think those two dynamics put together is, to me, they're going to do really well. And of course, they're under the wing of the greatest coach of all time, and I'm not saying that lightly. So I think this is great.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and also one thing also is you talk about hiring from within, and you look at New York. And I'm not talking about the city. I love New York as a city. I love LA as a city. They're both fantastic cities. I've been there many times. They're awesome. The organizations of the New York Knicks, the LA Lakers, have been dumpster fires for the past decade, maybe more than that. I don't know, but it's been bad. So you look at how the Knicks run things, or we were looking for agency is a perfect example. They had cleared a bunch of cap space, and none of the people went. Were targeting actually went to the Knicks, so they had to go pick up random players out of nowhere, and they might be one of the worst teams in the league next year. Lakers have had a situation where they traded away a lot of their players to get LeBron James. They had no bench. We saw the result last season. This offseason with the whole thing with Kawhi going to LA and this whole mess that happened. So you see that what happens with that, and you can kind of tell how organizations are run by how when reports leak out. But when it comes to the Spurs, other than the Kawhi Leonard drama, you really haven't had much of an issue when it comes to that. So I'm not really worried about them hiring from within. I mean, I trust RC Buford and Pop's judgment over rumors and fans and media people who may not know what a lot goes on other than the people who are actually in the organization. So I'm not really worried about it. And
Mm-hmm.
Joe, to your credit, I do think Becky Hammond will be the next Spurs head coach in the future. You and I have talked about this before.
yep.
I do think it is time for a woman to be in charge. And what better way? Pop was the first to give her the first female assistant coaching job in the NBA. I do feel he'll be the first to give her the first head coaching job in the NBA. And I think what Pop wants to do is he knows he can retire tomorrow and be okay. But he wants to leave whoever that next coach is, and let's just assume for right now it is Becky, with a good team moving forward. He's signed under contract for the next 3 years. I think he's going to mold this Spurs team till they're decent enough. They at least have a fighting chance for a championship to hand it to her and say, look, you have the keys to the car now. Go take him to the distance. And I think that's what he's planning. And honestly, I would not be upset if that was the future for the Spurs.
Yeah. Neither would I.
I
Hey, Carolina, can I get you to give Jason Garcia a quick shout out? He says hello from Boeing.
Hi, Jason Garcia.
Yeah, he wanted a quick shout out. Hey, Jason, how's
You
it
better
going?
is that Jason Garcia the one that gave me the Spurs shirt? Jason Garcia?
More than likely, yeah.
Tell him I wear that shirt once a week, or he can hear me. Jason, I wear your shirt that you gave me once a week, and I
Yeah.
love it. I wanna add one more point. I'm sorry, Joe. I know you got to make a point, but I really want to
No,
say
go
one more
ahead.
thing.
Go ahead.
So I want to touch back on hiring from within and externally. I think one thing I've noticed about organizations, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whether it's hockey, when I think hiring externally frequently is important when your organization is up in smoke and going in down the tank and down the drain. Now, obviously, people from within are making poor decisions. With the San Antonio Spurs, they've been in the playoffs 23 years in a row. They are consistently great. So I think hiring from internally is not a bad thing because they've proven for the past 2 decades that they're smart, they know where they're going, and I feel like they're going to leave the team when this legacy or this their legacy is over. RC Buford and Greg Popovich, and the big three is long gone. I think they're going to leave the organization in good hands, and that's what they're ensuring. To touch what Steven said, Greg Popovich has 3 more years. I think what he's going to do is implement all the tools and lessons that he's learned throughout his years with the Spurs, and he's going to implement them with his new coaches. I would love for Becky Hammond to be the Spurs head coach, the first female head coach. That would be, awesome. Like hashtag girl power. I'm all for that. But she's a very smart woman. She has played she's smart. She's a smart assistant coach. I think it's well deserved if she does get promoted to head coach. And honestly, I cannot wait for that day to come because it gives a lot for, I know this is off topic, but it does give a lot for little girls to look up to. They can say,
Yeah.
I can be the head coach one day. This is something we've never seen before. Basketball is predominantly male dominated, and the fact that the Spurs organization hired Becky Hammon as an assistant coach and broke the glass ceiling in in decades, to me that is a huge thing, and that's why I will always respect the Spurs organization.
Yeah, you know
I
what? I
actually
just
covered
noticed.
that.
I was gonna say I just noticed one thing too. I had spelled Tim Duncan returns wrong. I guess my damn dyslexia got the best of me. So I'm doing my spell check and autocorrect as you guys are talking. I'm like, oh shit. So everybody that's catching that right now, they're probably look at this fool. He doesn't even know how to spell return right.
That fool can't even spell.
For real, I'm telling you. Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and give some shout outs to some people. I see one of my longtime friends I haven't seen in a while. What's up, Letty? Letty's in here. Letty Angel Villarreal. Hey, we gotta get together, me, you, and Rick soon. We gotta go and hang out and get some margaritas. So I'll hit you up soon about that. And also Brenda Lee, she says her, girl power to you. Pedro Martinez is saying, assuming Becky isn't stolen from us, I'd like to see her give the head coaching gig a shot. So would I, and I guess Steven is on board with that as well. And I'm sure you're all for it too, Carolina. You'd be ecstatic if she was the first
Oh
female head
yeah.
coach.
Oh my God, I would freaking go honking downtown by my damn self.
You'd be also honking.
I know. Girl power by myself.
Oh
Looking
my
all
God.
crazy downtown.
No, you wouldn't be alone. I'm sure a lot of people would be doing the same damn thing. But not to steal what your take was, Stephen. Go ahead and go with what you were going to say.
Oh no, just I actually, I know you guys know this, but I don't know if anybody else did. Actually, when the San Antonio Stars were here, I actually did cover the WNBA from, oh gosh, about 4 years, and I actually watched Becky in the later stages of her career as a player, and there would be timeouts where I would see her literally get the clipboard from Coach Dan Hughes and draw up a play, and the play would actually work out more times than not. So that was a hint to me that she had coaching in her blood, and Dan obviously stepped down as coach. I was thinking, oh, Becky's going to be coach of the Stars, and little behold, later on, it was now she was obviously becoming the Spurs assistant coach. I mean, when you see little things like that, I mean, Becky has a brilliant mind when it comes to basketball. I mean, and she said it point blank to Robin Roberts, who I actually did have a chance to talk to, Robin Roberts, when she was here in San Antonio, and she told me, Becky told me a pick and roll in the men's game is the same as the women's game. The only difference is the gender, and honestly, it's 2019, guys. A gender should not matter if you can coach in whatever league you're coaching, hockey, basketball, football. It should not matter. If you know the game, you should be able to have an equal opportunity to coach. And I do hope, and I do think, like I said, it will be Becky doing it. And assuming she doesn't get stolen, like someone said, away from the
Yeah,
Spurs,
for real.
because everybody loves to steal Spurs assistants. Even though they say the Spurs are old, they're washed up, but yet Steve Kerr still has all of his assistants, and they've been going to the finals for the past 5 years. So I mean, we'll see what happens, but I mean, it's going to be interesting. But if Becky is the coach, I will more than be happy to say hi to her when I see her in the hallway and at the AT&T Center. It should be a fun one.
Yeah, no doubt. So on that note, we're gonna go ahead and end this live stream because I got a lot more to say, but that's gonna be coming on a future podcast that I'll probably be doing with Jeff Garcia of News 4 and of the Locked On Spurs podcast tomorrow. We'll probably release that sometime. It'll drop tomorrow, probably in the evening or midday. I'll let you guys know when that drops, so keep an eye for that. And we also have some exciting news that we're gonna go ahead and let you guys know about here shortly, probably within the next month or so. We got something in the pipeline, and I know that Carolina knows, and Carolina's going to be secretive about it.
Yes,
But it's going to be exciting, right, Carolina?
I'm so excited, Joe, for you guys. This is pretty big deal, so really excited for your new adventures to come. So I can't wait.
Yeah, for real. And everybody's still going to be a part of this. Steven, Wesley, Rudy from Sweep the League, and Coach Gio, our good friend Brenda Lee, she's going to be a part of this as well. She's going to, you know what? You go follow all these guys, especially Carolina. Go follow Steven on Twitter. Go follow Brenda Lee Gonzalez. She's always giving some good takes about what to go and eat, where to drink, all these little places that are hidden, little gems around town. So definitely go give these guys a follow. And also give a follow on Twitter to Rudy Campos Jr. and Coach Gio of Sweep the League. Make sure you follow them and watch their live streams. Everybody's putting out great content. And this is one big happy family. We're all here to support one another in anything and everything we all do. So for Steven Anderson, I'm Joe Garcia, and talking for Carolina Teague. We appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to us ramble on about Tim Duncan's return to the San Antonio Spurs. Yes, I said return. So you know we're going to get some hate now, Carolina?
Oh, that ain't nothing new.
Even if we don't write something and we share it, you wrote it.
Oh, no, yeah. Even if I don't write something and I share it, I wrote it and I'm garbage and
Yeah.
I'm trash. So it's okay. It's okay. I'll whatever.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. So that's all we got to say for tonight. We'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys again for tuning in. And like we always say, spread the love, stop the hate, and be kind. We're out. Peace.